The distress call was routine. That was the first mistake. In a galaxy filled with war, piracy, and collapsing empires, distress calls were common. They were logged, prioritized, and, when inconvenient, ignored. Automated systems filtered them by threat level, political relevance, and projected cost. This one came from the Elysian Verge, a remote trade corridor barely worth mentioning in council briefings. The signal was short, broken, human. This is Outpost Eta-9. We are under attack. Civilians present. We need immediate. The transmission cut to static. Analysts marked it as low priority. Human territory. Minimal strategic value. High casualty probability. The council assumed the problem would resolve itself. They were wrong. The silence after the call. For 48 hours, nothing followed. No follow-up signals. No fleet movements. No diplomatic escalation. To the galaxy, that silence meant one thing. The outpost was gone. To humans, silence meant something else entirely. Preparation. Why no one feared the distress call. Humanity had a reputation. Adaptable, stubborn, emotionally volatile, but not terrifying. Other species wielded ancient weapons, planet breakers, reality-bending technologies. Humans relied on redundancy, improvisation, and sheer endurance. The Council believed humans were dangerous only when cornered. They failed to realize that the distress call was a corner. What humans heard. Outpost Eta-9 was not military. It housed families, engineers, children born under artificial skies who had never seen Earth. When the call reached human space, it bypassed politics entirely. It went straight to continuity protocol, a system older than humanity's presence in the galaxy, a promise written into law after humanity's earliest wars. If civilians are threatened, response is mandatory. No debate, no vote, no permission. The arrival no one expected. 3 days after the distress call, sensors across the Elysian Verge detected something impossible. Not a fleet, a shadow. Gravitational readings spiked. Subspace rippled like a wound reopening. Navigation systems across 6 systems malfunctioned simultaneously. Then they arrived. Human ships, but not like any recorded before. No transponder codes. No recognizable hull designs. No formation that matched known doctrine. They emerged scattered, asymmetrical, overlapping in ways that violated standard physics. Observers described them with one word. Wrong. The first reaction, confusion. Council command demanded identification. There was no response. Pirate factions fled immediately. So did several mercenary fleets that had survived centuries of warfare. Veteran commanders felt something they hadn't felt in generations. Instinctive fear. Because these ships weren't posturing. They were already positioned. What terrified the galaxy? The humans didn't fire first. They shut things down. Enemy communications collapsed mid-sentence. Power grids failed without explosions. Weapon systems went dark, still intact but utterly unusable. Ships drifted helplessly as if the universe itself had decided they were done fighting. The attackers, later identified as a coalition raiding force, never saw a human weapon fire. They were neutralized in under 4 minutes. Across 12 systems, military analysts ran simulations. None could explain what they were seeing. Humanity hadn't brought overwhelming force. They brought control. The message that followed. Only after the attackers were immobilized did the humans transmit. The signal was simple, clear, undeniably human. This response was automatic. No threats, no demands, no justification. Just fact. The galaxy listened. Why this changed everything. For the first time, other species realized something critical. Humanity had been holding back, not because they lacked capability, but because they believed restraint was necessary for coexistence. What arrived at the distress call was not humanity's military. It was humanity's failsafe, a system designed for one purpose: ensure survival at any cost. The Council's panic. Emergency sessions convened across the galaxy. Questions flew faster than answers. How long had humans possessed this capability? Why had it never been detected? What else had they hidden? Archived human doctrines were reanalyzed. One phrase appeared repeatedly, long dismissed as philosophical rhetoric. Never again. The Council finally understood. Humanity didn't build weapons for conquest. They built them for guarantees. The aftermath at Theta 9. Human forces secured the outpost. Civilians were evacuated. The injured were treated, including enemy survivors. No executions. No retaliation raids. No territorial claims. When asked why the attackers weren't destroyed, a human commander responded, "They stopped being a threat." To the galaxy, this was perhaps the most terrifying answer of all. Why the galaxy was afraid. It wasn't the technology. It wasn't the speed. It was a restraint paired with absolute capability. Humanity demonstrated it could end conflicts without annihilation, which meant, if they ever chose not to, nothing could stop them. The final realization. The distress call from Theta 9 was archived under new classification. Galactic turning point event, not because of the battle, but because of what it revealed. Humanity was not reactive. Humanity was prepared. The new rule. In the months that followed, a quiet rule spread across the stars. Never ignore a human distress call, because if one is sent, it means something has gone terribly wrong. And if humanity arrives in silence, the galaxy may not survive the lesson. Epilogue. Outpost Theta 9 was rebuilt. Above it, a simple plaque was installed, visible from orbit. It bore a single line, translated into every known language. We answered. And across the galaxy, no one doubted what that meant anymore.